Today we got FaZe Sebastian speaking out about the FaZe situation, which I find crazy because, again, you guys know me. I'm going to always keep it 100. I have not had the best relationship with this man for a very long time because I do believe wholeheartedly that you are part of the problem and why FaZe has been dying and why everything bad that has happened to FaZe has happened. You've been compliant with every single person that has tried to hurt FaZe and to sell FaZe out and make money off FaZe, and you've done it for a salary and a position in FaZe that you feel comfortable with. You have a full office in Toronto where you get to hire whoever you want and have full control of it, and it's boosted your ego, the one that you've had since 2012. You're reliving your ego, and this entire thing is a power trip for you to maintain control in the company. I'm just going to be 100. Obviously, you guys can tell I don't like this man, so to have to hear this 14-minute video is going to kill me inside because I don't want to fucking listen to this man talk for 14 minutes. I know I'm being kind of an asshole right now, but I've had a very long history with this man, and it's been unbelievably annoying. So for the fact that he's speaking out, acting like, let's just see what he's saying. I've heard some things, but let's just see what he's saying. I want to hear it for myself. But the fact that he's acting like he on our side or he's working with us or he cares about FaZe is crazy because I've seen what you've done on the inside. Sure, you might care about FaZe, but you're not doing what's best for the brand or for us. You've been doing entirely what's better for yourself and these people that will help you boost your position in the company. But I'll listen.
Hey, it's Sebastian of FaZe Sebastian, and I know a lot of people on the internet right now want to know what's happening with FaZe Clan, or more importantly, what happened to FaZe. And as our longest tenured employee for over 12 years, I'd like to give some of my perspective on that to a conversation that isn't necessarily the best one to be had in public, but obviously is. I'm going to talk about it. I think people deserve to hear a little bit more behind the curtain. The unfortunate part of doing it this way is that even though I'm going to have to put the company hat on a little bit and try and speak in defense of FaZe, that's
not FaZe, gang. Don't call the company FaZe. I'm begging you. Do not do that. That's not FaZe. For the company, the money-hungry people, please get it right.
Be seen as me positioning myself on the other side of what someone like Rain or Tico are fighting for, as if I'm against them. And I assure you that could not be further from the truth. I think the unfortunate part is people that want the same thing being positioned to be on different sides is effectively the easiest way I can explain this reality that we're in right now, which is unfortunate for everybody. So I'm going to try and speak on them a little bit differently. I know obviously Tico has been speaking out over the last week and Rain over the last few months. And while the situations may seem pretty similar, they are quite different. So I'm going to try and separate that a little bit. Just for some context for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm sure some of our OGs have seen me in content back in the day. But when I joined FaZe over 12 years ago, I wasn't a content creator. Pretty much everything that we've done. In fact, the first member I remember with, but really everything, all the good decisions.
I'm being such an asshole. I'm sorry. Nothing. I'll listen. I'm just like, oh,
and all the bad ones.
It's like, I hear you. I got to hear everything.
So I think I have some good
perspective. I don't want to say anything and miss a variable. I got to hear it out.
Perspective on that to offer. So with Tico, the unfortunate reality that he's speaking up about is one that I don't think has been translated properly. So I'd like to get some things on the record, as I just did, very clearly first. I 100% agree with him morally and ethically that he should have been compensated more for his historical contributions to FaZe Clan than he has been over the last 12 years. And I'm sure there are conversations that I haven't been a part of where he's been disrespected or been put in the room with someone who doesn't understand, see, or appreciate his value, and he doesn't deserve that. And I know firsthand how much of the personal weight this last few years of trying to resolve these problems has bear down on him. I've dealt with a lot of the same things myself. I think we're actually dealing with closer situations than he even may realize. And I know how hard that is emotionally. And I'm with him. I'm with him 100%.
But you're still going to show up and work with everybody that's against him and not helping him, right? Oh, just got it. So they make sure that you're paid and you're, okay, got you. And you're taking care of it. But you're with him. I hear you. 100%. I hear you.
And I want nothing but him to feel that his life's work has been rewarded and awarded accordingly. That said, I do want to give some perspective as to how we even got here with him, and understanding that I do think we, speaking on behalf of FaZe Clan, have been able to give Tico a successful, viable career. I think that this is a guy who obviously was making YouTube videos about Call of Duty trick shots just like everybody else, and together with him, with his contributions, we've been able to bring him to America. We've been able to put a roof over his head for over 10 years, including the one he's living in right now that FaZe pays for. I think in the last maybe 5 years, we brought him probably over $1 million in brand deal related and FaZe participation compensation. And again, I think he deserves all of that. His contributions to FaZe he's one of the few people who can genuinely
Now, hold on, Tico. If they brought you a meal, we not the set. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad. I hope they did. I genuinely hope they did bring him money and did things with him because I didn't even know about that. I can't speak on any of the Tico stuff, obviously, because I'm not Tico.
Say we wouldn't be here without me. There's a lot of people who can say that, but he is without a shadow of a doubt one of them. And as FaZe succeeds, he should have been awarded and compensated accordingly. I don't think he was. Maybe 6 or so years ago, after the success of the FaZe house in New York, and after this was starting to really become a worldwide recognized thing, there was a decision that was made to start turning the brand into a business. And that included, some of the OGs sitting aside with someone else who came into the picture, who obviously used to work here, that may have not had everybody's best intentions at heart. And it was split into a pie. And some people got something and some people didn't. Jacob is one of the people, myself, Rug, Adapt, many others, 50 to 100 others who contributed to FaZe in 6 years before that weren't part of that. And it's impossible to be put in that situation. Is this construction going to be a problem? At one point, a company worth $1 billion that his piece of is very small. And there are people coming in as those older shares have continued to be diluted and making way for new investors that aren't contributing, not what he did, aren't contributing really anything. People who don't have our best intentions at heart, people who actually screwed us over, that are now getting more than he ever did. It's impossible to be put in that situation and not feel the way you feel about FaZe Clan. But I do know from working enough in our building and around the industry that when you are met with somebody who, taking that emotion and putting it to the side and just focusing on the facts, when you are met with somebody who is not needing to worry about putting a roof over their head or providing for their family or where the next, where their next bill is going to come, or where their next check is going to come from to pay for their bills, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year pursuing their passion, and we're providing them and empowering them the foundation to do that. And they're staring you in the face, a genuine, honest worker who just loves what FaZe is doing and wanted to help out with your marketing degree. And you're being told, fuck you. This isn't enough. I need more, or I'm not.
But it's only because it's relative, bro. It's like not like if nobody was getting it, Tico would never bring it up. They'll take a crazy man off the top, then just give him some crumbs. So relatively, of course, taking care of him rent-wise is of course important. But I'm saying relatively to what they're taking, what they're giving, we're not stupid, bro. We can see through this shit. So you're just saying, oh yeah, they're paying for your rent, but look at how much they're taking, bro. You gotta he's not just saying fuck you, I want more out of the blue. It's only because of what they have. You gotta understand these things, bro.
XYZ. That's not a tenable situation for anybody. And unfortunately, there have been a lot of those microcosms playing out. A road, there's a fork in the road and the wrong one is chosen for 6-10 years, right? That happens. When you meet people online, you create a brand, you don't necessarily split it up in the right way, and there's other interests, and you give people the ability to come into your brand and make a business for themselves, and being jaded about that leads towards you retreating right when we don't show up every day. And I'll be the first to say, while I do come to work for FaZe every day, I wouldn't necessarily say that all of our OGs have been that involved over the last few years. And when we retreat, it allows for other people to come in and make their own decisions. And unfortunately, that's all.
Of course you're gonna fucking show up every single day. You get paid to, and you get all the resources in the world to do, because you keep pushing their agenda. Like, bro, of course. And also it's like, oh, I'm not even gonna, I could say some really mean things, but I'm just not finna say it. But come on, bro. Realize it for what the fuck it is. It's so annoying, bro. You're playing both sides, and that's why I'm annoyed right now. It's not because I'm just trying to be this way. I've had a long history with this person, and I've just been annoyed this entire time. I've had a very annoying decade-long relationship with Sebastian. So, and it's just like the fakeness. I feel like where you're rooting for both sides, and whichever one will help you. It's like it's not genuine, bro. This shit's not genuine. This is like one big PR video, and it's
almost always going to end you up in a position like this, where people who want the same thing, which is employees that are fans of FaZe, work here for that reason, and want nothing more than it to succeed, are sticking their hand out to someone like Tico and Rain saying, let's work together. But the view on the other side is, you screwed me over. Why would I work with you? And I understand both sides. I unfortunately think that this is a conversation that is better had behind the camera. And we've certainly tried over the last few years. Obviously, I can't speak to every room that they may have been in where It's possible somebody was being far more disrespectful and far more brazen than I would ever care to be about this.
By the way, I've blown his phone up talking crazy. Like sometimes I'm disrespectful. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like if you're really causing problems and I feel like you're directly the root of the problem, I'm gonna say it for what the fuck it is.
But I do know for a fact that I may not be able to speak for every single person who's ever worked here, but the majority of the people that I work with at FaZe are our biggest fans. And these are the people we're actually hurting right now by this playing out in public. The people that really care. The fans that are sitting at home that saw that we created a career out of our passion.
That's all I want. Is I wish the warehouse and all of our employees were fans that actually consume this. The people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis that actually like work on YouTube, that's what they do. They don't like the employees we have right now. As soon as they leave the warehouse, they go do their boomer shit. They're not even worried about FaZe. Of course, some of the employees we have, they are awesome. They're amazing. They're fans. They know our history. They know everything. They actually do consume this stuff, but they can't do anything. They don't really have a say in anything. And that's the issue. The people that actually consume this don't have a say, and the people that don't consume this have the biggest say, and they're deciders of what happens to them or not. So that's the issue. It's not even the employees, the base level employees. It's their bosses and all the people that assume positions, because they're the ones that don't even consume this or care about this or even watch YouTube or know what the fuck we went through or care about our fans. None of that. It's entirely transactional, entirely about the numbers and money, what they could possibly get out of this. That's it. So it's annoying to me, bro. I just hate watching the thing that I built get sucked and squeezed by people like this. It's annoying to me. It has been for so long.
And are now able to do that without the thought of the weight of the world and the real world. We're living here on this slice of the internet. Those people who have that dream, who want to do the same thing that we did, they're seeing us fight. They're seeing everybody just throw their shots at FaZe. Not the good actors, not the bad actors, but just all lumping it together. And I think that is more of my issue with, to separate it now to more with Norton. That's been more of the issue with obviously trying to deal with him over the last few years is, I mean, look, if you've ever watched a FaZe Ran video, you know the guy's passionate. And I wouldn't necessarily say that working relationship from his side has been approached with the spirit of, you know, respect and common decency. But I also don't blame him because he's been really, really fucked over by a lot of people. Not even just within this slice of the internet, just in life. And I feel for him. I've tried many times.
Oh, damn, watch him say hella nice things about me. Y'all just been watching me cook him out like the biggest asshole. I'm sorry. Because that's, ooh, he's going to fucking PR the shit out of me. I know you are.
I wouldn't say my relationship with Norton right now is on good terms, which sucks because this is a guy that I've known for literally 12 years. This guy, I remember when I was in university, there was a couple months I was like, you know, I was paying for stuff and money wasn't coming in. So I was struggling to make rent and he paid for my rent for months. No, I've never talked about, like, that's the kind of guy that this guy is. And he's looking at the piece of the pie that he got. And it's like, well, everybody else got a bigger piece now. We're this public company. And who are all these people? Who are all these, you know, directors and XYZ that...
I do appreciate him bringing that up, but it doesn't really change anything. But I appreciate you bringing it up because you obviously didn't have to or do whatever. And make, like, why would you try to make me look good while trying to, like, whatever? I hear you. But it's still the point, bro. Like, you just got to understand it for what it is. But, ooh, see, I knew something like that was going to happen.
Don't have our interest at heart. But yeah, if that's the way, I promise you, Norton, if that's the way we approach the conversation with those people, this is where we end up. We have to work every day at fighting that off. We can't just build a brand that people like and sit back and allow it to rake in the money for us. And if we
I feel you. I've got no money from it. That's not
honestly want to be able to provide this opportunity to decades of newer generations of people instead of just being happy with what we've done for 12 years, then we have to show up and we have to be accountable and we have to understand that a lot of these decisions we've made bear some fault to us too, and bury that hatchet and stick our hands out.
This has to get that it's not like a lack or laziness or thing of us not wanting to show up. I will show up every single day. Weekends do not exist to me. I want to be like, oh, I'll show up Monday to Friday. I'll show up every single fucking day. That's what you do when the brand is in the right place. But I'm not going to go there to work with people who are going to get paid. It's not even about them getting paid. It's just, you know what it is, bro. They have the full control. They're the ones also just getting paid, have more shares of the company. They have more to win while you do everything. That doesn't feel good, bro. Of course I'll show up, but when the brand is in the right place and everyone's getting compensated what the fuck they should get. But not while it's like this. Not while like what it's like been under. Fuck no. Like, who wants to do that? Like,
shake hands and work together.
So I try to work on the outside. Let me try to get everyone together so we can try to get this shit back so I can do this every day. But it's like, that's just not the reality with what's been going on.
Other guys who really aren't necessarily, who've been burned too much that they're not even necessarily entering this conversation right now. I hate the fact that I have to, because I'm on their side. I come to work every day fighting against the realities that are bearing them down. And by me making this video, it's almost going to seem as if I'm not with them when I am. But I have worked here long enough to know that the people who work here need direction, need guidance, need the OGs, like those who are speaking out and those who aren't, to show up and to work with them and to give them direction and guidance and spirit and understanding that the compensation we're receiving isn't as big as it should be, but is still enough to tell the world, who right now isn't that interested in esports, as we're seeing people shut down orgs, fire people, lay people off, drop their teams. We can't present a narrative to them that, regardless of who's got what slice, if we're telling them this isn't enough and this is enough for us to make it work in esports, they're not interested. And this thing that we have here won't continue to the next generation. And that's what I want. That's what I care about. So to anybody out there in the public who can at least understand that, I appreciate you and thank you for hearing me out. Even those who've been speaking on it, like I know Nate was talking about this on his stream the other day, and I don't think any of that was meant to be negative. This is a guy who understands the scope. And when FaZe wins, the industry wins, and vice versa. Yet, big business doesn't want us to have what we deserve. They want us to have nothing. And the fight is one that happens every day with us showing up and being accountable for it. So hopefully we can all find a way to work together. I think when we talk about wanting to work together, that's really what the spirit of that is. Not the bad actors. It doesn't hurt the people who fucked us over. They don't care about us either way. It hurts people that are watching this that have a dream like we did, and we're able to turn it into something.
Yeah, and also we don't want the people that have a dream to be like, oh my God, you're gonna build something, they're gonna fucking stole it from you. We don't want to fucking initiate that dream. So it's like,
and thought that they might be able to do it too. And if their source of inspiration is now attacking each other instead of working together to address the problem,
yes, work together, got it.
That isn't something that I'm ever willing to accept. So if you'd like to talk to me more about it, I'm happy to do so. This is a matter of gravity that frankly needs more discussion, even if it means
it just needs the boys locked in. The boys getting what the fuck they deserve. The boys locked in and the boys taking over. That's all it is, bro. I'm telling you, we're all motivated. We all want to do this shit. We're all hungry. But it's like,
stick my neck out there, and trust me, I've been fucked over by this game a lot more times.
And even you, I want Sebastian to get compensated. Obviously, I'll say that over anything. I still, like, he has showed up, so he does deserve, what he gets. But obviously, you have to understand, I don't think what you did for FaZe was positive over the last few years, because you just helped pushing an agenda, kept saturating the page. Like, you ruined the FaZe Clan Instagram and Twitter. Like, I wholeheartedly believe so. The reason it dies in interactions is because of how much bad things you've put out and allowed to go out, and you just made that the norm. So that's just what they keep pushing out. Don't agree with it, the way you pay yourself to the executives and shit. I just don't agree with it. At the end of the day, is he a terrible human being? Fuck no. Sebastian's a good guy. I'm sure he has a good heart. He's a good dude. But like, for FaZe, we're speaking for FaZe, right? And I do feel like this is like a very, like, again, two-sided type answer. Like, he's on our side, but he's also on their side. He doesn't know. People are trying to protect their jobs. I get that. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, even if it's your salary's depending on it, you just got to do what's right. I don't care, but I get it. Not everybody's like that. I fully understand. And
if we care about making sure that it doesn't happen to anybody else, then we got to show up and part of that too. So that's the spirit that I'm approaching this with. I hope.
And yes, that's all we should be doing. Showing up together and trying to get shit right together. That's all everybody in FaZe should be focused on right now.
To speak up on this, I actually was on vacation the last 10 days. Not the best timing.
Sorry, dude.
If anyone has any other questions, you know where to find me.
Sorry to ruin that.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for all the love and support on these videos. I'm going to keep posting, obviously, regardless. I just want to get this all out of the way, and then I'm going to continue posting just regular videos back to normal. Nothing's stopping me now. Now y'all know everything. I don't care. Everything's back to normal for me. Keep it real, everybody. I love you guys. See you guys later. Peace.